Gordon, you are now a Boston Celtic. Congratulations again and welcome to this city. And I know it's probably been a whirlwind for you. And you said when you were choosing Boston, it was came down to a gut feeling that you had. I know you were using a point system too. Ultimately, was there one thing that swayed you to come to the Celtics?
Yeah, first thanks for having me on this show, and excited to be in Boston. I think for me, just the one thing was the city, the fans here, the atmosphere that it brings, and being almost like sports mecca here in Boston, where you just have so much buzz, so much excitement for the sports teams, and that's something I wanted to be a part of in history, and along with all the other things that added up to it. But really the city of Boston and the fans here is kind of what swayed me.
Was there also maybe a sense of comfort in knowing that head coach Brad Stevens was here as well? I know that you have a previous relationship with him at Butler. Maybe describe to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no doubt. Having a familiar face for sure is very comforting, and Brad has been in my corner since I was 16, 17 years old. And we've stayed in contact, when I went to the NBA, and then, of course, he decides to go to the NBA. But for us to kind of come full circle here, be reunited, it's a special feeling, I think a really cool story, and excited to get to work with him.
You talked about those other things that kind of played into you coming here, and one of those other things had to have been the players that you would have been playing with. And Isaiah Thomas obviously was on the roster at that time, Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley at that time. Obviously the moves had to happen for you to come here, but yeah. Now this team looks a whole lot different. So what's the past couple of weeks and really the past 6 to 7 weeks been like for you as all of these moves have unfolded and you've seen the new version of this team that you're joining?
Yeah, it's crazy this offseason in the NBA. A lot of players.
Does it feel like
you don't have to say that.
Right. I know. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of players on the move, and definitely when here visiting and you had IT kind of recruiting me, it was something I was looking forward to playing with him. He's a special player, had an unbelievable year last year, and somebody that I was going to enjoy playing with, and wish him the best of luck. But I know that this is a business here. You always got to be ready for change. I learned that in my first year in Utah when Coach Sloan resigned and our all-star point guard was traded. Two things I thought would never happen. So excited about the opportunity now to play with Kyrie, another unbelievable talented player, and along with Al and Marcus Smart and Marcus Morris, Baines, Terry, and the two young guns with Jason and Jalen. So I'm really looking forward to being a part of this team, and definitely changed, like you said, but just I think changed in a good way, and excited about it.
Hey, a lot of really good players on this roster, but the one everyone is talking about along with you were just introduced with him, is Kyrie Irving. How do you think your two games are going to fit together? I know you guys both of you are playmakers. When you put two playmakers together, what's that going to create for the Boston Celtics?
Well, for me, I just want to try to make the game easier for him. Make him the best version of himself, along with Al, along with the other guys I just mentioned. And I know that's part of his job too, is to do that for me. And both of us being playmakers, it's our job to make some plays, make it easier on other guys. I think we can both get our own shots too when that's needed. And the thing that I think is unique and special about this team is there's so many guys that can make plays or make timely shots.
And that's something the Celtics didn't necessarily have in the past.
Yeah, and I think Brad is a master at finding the right guy at the right moment, and it'll be a team effort for sure.
Danny Ainge, high praise for you, just saying that you're a complete player. You can play 1 through 4, defend multiple positions. Is there one aspect of your game that you're really hoping to bring this Celtics team?
I think for me, just my competitive nature, my versatility, and just my willingness to do whatever the coach needs. I think that's how I've always been as a player, been kind of asked to do different things over the years and try to do it to the best of my abilities, and that'll be no different this year. Whatever Brad needs me to do, I'm ready to do it.
You came out here earlier than anticipated. I think a few days ago you were probably looking at coming out here next week, so you speeded up by about a week. What do you think you might be able to gain from that extra week?
Yeah, I think you get a little earlier start. We were going to move here anyways, so the fact that we just kind of sped it up. My wife had more stress put on her, so thanks to her for getting everything ready a week early. But be able to get in the facility earlier, train with some of the assistants, train with some of the guys, and training camp's right around the corner. I mean, it's, what is it, 3.5 weeks away or something?
It's right
So
around the corner.
it's going to come up quick, and hopefully I can get acclimated here and get used to it.
To follow up on that, training camp and preseason in general are condensed this season.
Yeah.
The Celtics have 4 players returning. They've got 11 new players, and then obviously some camp invitees. What's the most important aspect of camp for you guys to be able to get on the same track before the regular season starts?
Yeah, we have some work to do. I think we all need to learn what Brad is trying to teach us and the system that he brings. And I think other than that, just the chemistry. Chemistry, I think, is huge, and to have so many new guys with returning guys, and we have young guys and old guys. We have a lot of mix of everything. And so I think for us, just kind of creating a bond with each other, learning how each other plays, strengths, will help us a lot.
How do you create that bond? I know when you're out on the court playing, but then just maybe off the court too.
I think being around each other, everybody being here, hanging out, doing, for me and Kyrie, doing things like today, getting a chance to walk around with him, and that stuff I think is invaluable, and that'll further strengthen our chemistry.
Gordon, thank you so much for your time, and again, welcome to Boston.
Thanks guys.